I'd like to call the Tuesday, February 20th, 2024 Papillion City Council meeting to order. Ms. Brown, would you please take the roll?
Sunday, Mumgard, Gaines, Glover, Fanslaw, Klug, Stube, Ingberg.
Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. And do we have an affidavit of publication on file?
We do.
And a current copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted in the back of the council chambers. Ms. Powers, Administrator's report, please.
Thank you. I'm going to give a quick update on the sewer agency. A new rate study is being finalized and is tentatively planned to be presented to the agency board in March. And based on initial information, there will need to be rate increases both to connection fees and to the user rates to support the increased construction and inflation costs. The exact increases are still being worked through and analyzed. The sewer agency's fiscal year 24-25 budget is currently being worked on. It will require council approval, which is tentatively scheduled for June with the July 1st effective date. And the agency's previous year's financial audit is complete. There was one significant deficiency, which was a lack of segregation of accounting duties, which is a standard finding in a small organization. And the agency will be making modifications to the financial processes to address this finding, though. And then speaking of audits, thank you to Nancy and her team for another Government Finance Officers Association, GFOA, Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for the fiscal year 21-22 annual report. We just received notice not too long ago that we received that award for that audit. And we are fortunate to have a highly professional and transparent finance department. So thank you again, Nancy. Then city staff met with county staff last week to get an update on the proposed Platteview road improvements. There was a discussion on the right sizing of the roadway, potential phasing and road speeds, and what a typical section may look like with widths and speed controls. The visioning committee is going to take our comments and will continue to work through local options for phasing and financing of that project. And the Papillion Fire MFO met last week for its quarterly meeting. Fire engine number 5 has been ordered and is expected to be in service by spring of 2025. It just shows you there's an 18 to 24 month lag between ordering and putting engines into service in the current climate. Plans are moving forward for the construction of a fire training facility located at the Public Works site. This project is included in the upcoming budget amendment, which is having its hearing tonight. And the MFO voted to recommend using the fire department's CARES funds for this project, which would pay for over 60% of the project, and then the remaining 40% would come from the MFO's capital reserve fund. And if approved, the training facility is anticipated to be completed by late summer or early fall of this year. And then just a couple of reminders. Next Tuesday, the 27th, the 55 Plus Club is holding a fundraiser at Applebee's in Papillion. 50% of the proceeds on select items on that night will go towards the 55 Plus Club, so be sure to stop by for lunch or dinner if you get a chance. And then just an FYI, Mayor Black, Mark, and myself will be at the League's Midwinter Conference in Lincoln next Monday and Tuesday. So during those 2 days, Mark and I will still be available by email and phone call, but we may be delayed in responding, and that would be why. But we'll get back to you. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion by Councilman Gaines, second by Councilman Klug. Yes, Mr. Ingberg. No. Did you want to pull an item? No. Okay. Oh, okay. Do we have any proponents or opponents? Any council discussion?
Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Stube.
Yeah, can you pull item 7? Item 7 is pulled. Item 7 is pulled. Any other discussion? Please vote on everything except item C7.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Next is item C7, Resolution R240027, a resolution to approve a construction agreement with Swain Construction, Inc. for Papio Bay Parking Lot Project. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R240027?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Stube.
Second.
Second by Councilman Klug. Any proponents or opponents? Council discussion, Mr. Stubbe.
Yeah, I just thought it was an opportunity to talk a little bit about the project, and I'm very supportive of this. Obviously, there were 12 qualified bids, I think, that were taken. The low bid is significantly below the engineer's estimate, so if Mr. Kleffner or somebody can talk a little bit about the schedule and the impact.
Mr. Kleffner.
Schedule is to start the first part of March. We're already in discussion with the construction company, hopefully to have the pre-con early next week. They're excited to get on board. They've got a new project manager that I met for the first time. There was a wide range of bids, but we had 3 bids that were close, near to Swain's bid, so we found it to be reasonable. It was just a very competitive market. I consider that just to the fact that it can fit into a tight window, and we want it done prior to what I would say the start of the major construction season, and we've pretty much we're going to let them get in now to tear it up, so that way we did do kind of in discussion with Tracy, we set a date, but we didn't put any what I would call liquidated damages if they don't get done by the given date, just because we have other parking in the area we can utilize for it, and we can phase it accordingly.
Thank you. Any other discussion? If not, please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. No items for first reading. Item E1, ordinance 2019, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2023-2024 budget. It's a public hearing. I'll open it. Do we have any proponents or opponents? I'll close the public hearing. Next item F1, resolution R240023. It's a public hearing and a vote. A resolution to approve a special use permit on the property legally described as lots 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, Barrington Place 3, replat 1, generally located at 605 Gold Coast Drive. The applicant's Premier Nebraska Papillion LLC, Our House Children's Learning Center. It's a public hearing. I'll open it. Do we have any proponents or opponents? Is the applicant here? Okay, I just want to note that for the record. Thank you. You can speak if you want to, but you don't have to. Yeah. When you come up, if you just state your name and address for the record.
Sure. My name's Elliot Jarvis. Address is 120 South LaSalle Street, Suite 1200, Chicago, Illinois 60603. That's our office. I'm with Premier Early Childhood Education Partners. We're looking to acquire and operate Our House Children's and continue the 20-year legacy that Carmen has built in the community. And so we're looking for a special use permit to be assigned to the land rather than to a single person or the business.
Thank you. Do we have any other proponents or opponents? I'll close the public hearing. Do we have a motion to approve resolution R240023? Motion by Mr. Ingberg, second by Mr. Glover. Council discussion, and just I think it'd be good just to reinforce what he said a little bit, because somebody says, well, I'm selling a business, why do I have to go through a special use permit? It actually goes back to how the special use permit was originally issued. It was issued to the business, not the land. And so when they went to sell it, all of a sudden they said, hey, the special use permit's not valid. And so that's the request then to renew it, but then also shift it so it's with the land. So it's what would be more of our common practice now instead of what originally done. So just wanted to get that in case anybody's watching and wondering. Any other discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes, and thank you for your investment. You bet. And thanks for all your work over the years as well. Appreciate it a lot. It's all the regular agenda items. Committees, Public Safety Committee met. Ms. Chairperson Klug.
Thank you. Yeah, we did meet, and we were discussing the Papillion Police Department remodel and expansion. For those who don't know the history, the police department is right at 20 years old, which is kind of what the goal was when it was built, was to get at least 20 years out of it. When it was built, it was designed to be easily expandable upon. Since its opening, the city has roughly doubled in size, which means that the needs of our officers have greatly changed just simply by the number of officers that we have. And I think we also need to remember the changes in technology and the needs of the building from when we didn't have computers in every car and cameras on every officer to drones in the air. So technology has changed significantly, and with the growth of the city and the change of technology and many other requirements that we've now learned we need or we prefer to have, like great physical fitness for our officers, the building really needs an update to make sure we stay pace with what the community expects of our officers. So we had some great discussions. We do know that we still have multiple phases that we're going to have to go through. So it's not going to be done like this summer. We could be as much as 2 to 2.5 years from seeing its completion, which was a discussion item for us. Would it really take that long, or could we do something to help speed up that just a little bit? What would be better for our officers and our citizens? So we are looking into that. And we do know that we're going to have to continue to think about contingencies and how we will handle that during the construction phase. How do we hold and take care of evidence, our officers, and the various needs? So a lot of things were put on the plate with the people that we're working with. Chief Whitted is very aware of it. And at the end of all these discussions, we gave a unanimous recommendation to move forward with bringing this information to the council to be voted on. So hopefully that will be appearing on the agenda in short order, and one of our goals is to make sure and keep our officers safe and keep our citizens informed. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the work of both committees, because Public Safety was looking at the logistics and the space planning, but then F&A also looked at, hey, can we afford this? So two totally different perspectives. So I appreciate the work of everybody on this item. It's all the regular agenda items. Any comments from the floor? No comments from the floor? Council comments? We do have a closed session tonight. Oh, just a couple of updates from the last couple of weeks. Ms. Powers and I, we were, Congressman Flood was in town, and he wanted to see the remodeled City Hall. And so we did take him through it, thought he had another agenda, but literally just said, no, I just want to see City Hall. I heard you remodeled it. So we spent a bit of time just walking through the old building and the history of downtown Papillion. Papillion Manor had a ribbon cutting. They just did a remodel over there. Last couple of years, they invested over $6 million in the existing facility. And then with that, they also renamed it. They were very conscious to keep the Papillion name in it. So now I'm going to draw a blank on the name, which they're going to kill me for that. Oh, we'll get it later. It's on YouTube. Watch our channel. Brookstone of Papillion. Brookstone, they've kind of carried that as their name, and so it's Brookstone of Papillion is the new Papillion Manor. If Papillion Manor's watching, I apologize. Gross Sarpy had its annual meeting. A number of people attended that. The 55 Plus Club had its Valentine's Day lunch. I know Councilman Ingberg, Councilman Mumgard helped serve there, so it's a great tradition with La Vista's Senior Center as well. Offutt Air Force Base had a what they call a community collaboration kickoff. They received an award that only, I think, 4 or 5 bases in the nation or globally received as far as community support, and this region was one of them that got that. So the mayors from around the region and the federal delegation went out to Offutt and signed a joint proclamation of support for the base. We realize how many jobs that brings, and I think we'll see some other opportunities with the base because of that. Ms. Powers and I and some staff also had another United Cities meeting, trying to stay up on the legislation right now. The biggest update on the legislative, and I gave you a copy of the handout, is LB 686. That was a hearing today, and I did go down and testify on behalf of the United Cities. I gave you a copy of my written testimony there. And then there was a ribbon cutting today for Skin Experts, another one that opened in Shadow Lake. We did receive an update just today from FEMA. The box that I got. They finally have updated the preliminary flood maps. They issued original preliminary almost year and a half, 2 years ago, and then there was a protest period where any landowner could protest that map. They've now revised the preliminary based on that, and so staff has about 30 days to review the update. I don't think there were any real surprises in it. and then they'll comment, and then the maps will be official in about 7 to 10 months. If I read that right, it means probably late this year, early 25, the new maps will be official. So probably any building permits and development we start getting now, those people probably aren't going to build this year, so they'll probably start using that new information, and we just won't issue permits until it's updated. So at least that process is moving a lot slower than we thought. The Library Teen Advisory Board is also having a food drive for the neighborhood food pantry on the 29th, so if you want to support them, take items over to the library. And then she didn't mention it, but Miss Powers did graduate from Leadership Nebraska this last couple of weeks, and that's a big deal. Leadership Nebraska is a long-standing leadership development through the entire state, and not a lot of people get accepted into it. The class is what, maybe 24, 25 people statewide, so that very good program, and so congratulations on that, and thanks for participating. It's a big sacrifice of family time. I think that's all the updates. We do have a closed session. Is there a motion to go into closed session to protect the public interest to discuss potential litigation and land negotiations?
Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Glover, second by Mr. Gaines. Any proponents or opponents?
Mayor,
Yes,
before we go to closed session,
Sir.
I wanted to make something, we got
Yep.
through council comments kind of quickly. I just wanted to point out and congratulate Mayor Black for receiving the Gross Sarpy Award for 2024 for partner in economic development for support and problem solving and getting the large number of well-known worldwide companies to Papillion. So congratulations.
Should have gone to the city because you all play a major role in it, but I appreciate that. Thank you very much. We have a motion and a second. Any proponents or opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
I'll state for the record the purpose of the closed session is only to discuss potential litigation and land negotiations. Closed session will include the mayor, city council, city administrator, city clerk, city attorney, recreation director, public works director, finance director, and human resources director.